to the EA Creator Network for this early access event for the game code for the LoveStruck Expansion Pack. Welcome back to another episode of our LoveBound series with Melinda and Andrew. They are just feeling super happy. As we know, they are preparing for their wedding, and we do have that coming up really soon. They are extremely excited over the fact that they just finished having that engagement party with their friends, and as we know, they had themselves that little woohoo in the closet, so we will be finding out if anything happened from that, and I guess we'll be seeing if Melinda is expecting soon, and I am just going to let them kind of find that information out on their own. But they are feeling really, really happy, really confident, and I am thrilled to see that they are carrying on. They are making good progress in their careers, and they are just really feeling enamored with one another, and I think that, you know, they are seriously in love. We know that Andrew is wanting to go ahead and get married. They did try to elope once, so I am just going to try to carry on, and we'll see how things go. And I don't know, if they do try to elope again, I'll probably just let them elope and we'll have to cancel their wedding out. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with this episode and see how things go here. Are you serious? Right off the bat? Okay, right off the bat, they're just gonna elope right away. First thing. All right, I guess they're going to elope. I mean, Andrew is just keen to marry Melinda. He can't wait. He is ready to start their lives together. So they are here in the bedroom eloping. They're exchanging their vows. They are just telling each other how they can't wait to go ahead and start their lives together. I know that Melinda had wanted to have a ceremony with their friends, but Andrew just can't seem to wait. You know, he is definitely a romantic at heart. I know she is also a bit of a romantic, but he, I think, is just ready to tie that knot. And so they have exchanged their vows. They're sharing their kiss together, and these two are officially married now. They have officially started their life together as a married couple, and they are thrilled about it. So we will just let them continue on. I will go ahead and remove from the calendar their wedding. They were actually scheduled to get married tomorrow, but we will go ahead and remove that, and we'll just let them carry on with their lives now that they are a married couple. And we will just wait to find out if they are expecting a little one. And obviously we'll go ahead and let them progress in their careers. I do want them working on some things for their careers. I know that she needs to work on some logic, so I'm probably going to get her, once she's done eating, to probably get in there and work on the computer towards some of her logic skill so that she can have that for her paranormal job, because that is something that she needs to be able to progress to the next level of her career. He has just come in and he is explaining to her right now how excited he is that they've gotten married. He is telling her that he's really glad that she went ahead and allowed them to elope. He's like, I know that you really wanted us to go ahead and have that ceremony. Maybe we can have a little bit of a reception with our friends so that we can celebrate the fact that we eloped. You know, I'd realize it's not the wedding that you kind of hoped for, but at the very least, we'll be able to celebrate with our friends, and, you know, we'll have ourselves a get-together. And she's like, that sounds like a really good plan, Andrew. Maybe we can do that. And I didn't want to hinder us getting married. I know that is something that you clearly wanted to do and you couldn't wait to do, so she's like, it's perfectly fine that we went ahead and eloped. And he's like, okay, I'm really glad that, you know, you're not kind of bummed out about the fact that we didn't have the wedding. And she's like, no, it's completely fine. They have decided that they're probably going to go ahead and have a little bit of a reception. So maybe we will have a reception with the friends, and they will be able to go ahead and they'll invite everybody around to have a little bit of a reception. We probably won't be seeing that in this episode, but we will put something on the calendar and we will go ahead and get a little bit of a reception going on for them. But for now, I'm just going to get her in there on the computer. We're going to do a little bit of online learning for logic for her so that she can go ahead and get her logic skill up. I do need her to gain in her logic skill. I think she needs to be at a level 2 or 3 possibly, so that she can go ahead and progress in her career. And obviously, I I think that he already has met all of his work tasks for his job, and I think he's got the next day or so off. So he doesn't really have anything going on. He's just going to kind of piddle around the house and spend as much time as he can with his new bride, because as we know, he is just feeling over the moon about the fact that he has recently gotten married now, and he just wants to do whatever he can to celebrate their lives together and be as romantic with her as he can. He does know that she needs to get her work done, so he's going to, try to let her do that. Maybe he can go out for a little bit of a jog while she is getting her work done, and he can kind of tend to himself, because obviously I don't want him really underfoot and kind of bothering her while she's trying to get her logic skill in, because honestly, if he's in here, he'll probably try to distract her. So for now, he's just going to maybe get a little bit of TV watching in, but I may send him out and let him get a little bit of fitness. That will probably be good for him. He is in a extremely flirty mood. They actually both are in a bit of a flirty mood. I do think that is just the ambiance of the house that puts them in a flirty mood, but they are both feeling quite flirty. She is going to continue working on this logic, and hopefully we'll be able to level that up pretty quickly, and she'll be able to finish that, and then they can spend some quality time together here. So I don't think that this mini-series is going to be lasting for very much longer. I do think that obviously it's going to be coming to a close kind of soon. I was kind of hoping that I could meet her aspiration fully before we ended this, but I don't know that I want to kind of drag it out for far too long, just because I have so much other stuff kind of going on. And I do want you guys to be able to kind of figure out these wonderful things about this pack on your own, and I don't want to spoil all of the things about the pack for you, as it's a lot more fun when you're able to play it yourself and find out the little tidbits of information about your game pack, your expansion pack yourself. So I am probably just going to find out if she's expecting, and then we will go kind of from there. And I don't know if how many episodes I'm going to do this for. Maybe I'll plan for there to be like 10 episodes in this series, and then I will probably end it. I think this is episode number 7, so there will be a few more episodes of this series, and then that will probably be it. But he has gone out for a little bit of a jog. She is still just working on her logic here, but I am going to have to get her to go ahead and go in there to the washroom. It looks like she is desperate for a little bit of a wee, so we're just going to go ahead and let her do that. And she's just really, really happy, and I think, it's fantastic that she's feeling so great. The fact that, she had to have her wedding canceled and she's still feeling so happy is overall a good sign. So, she could have been kind of sour about it, but she's taken it with a grain of salt here. Maybe I can actually get her to go out for a little bit of a jog as well. It'll probably be pretty good for her to get a little bit of fitness in also. So we'll send them both out, let them get a little bit of a jog in, and then they can just both get a little bit of fitness for the day. And then once they get back home, maybe they can take care of themselves as far as getting some showers. And it does look like he has to go to work in about an hour's time, so we'll just let him get on home and clean himself up after his jog, and then he can get himself ready for work. So Andrew's just going to go on in here, take himself a quick shower, get himself ready for his shift at work. He does obviously want to be, a little bit cleaned up before he has to go and meet with clients and consult about romance. He doesn't definitely want to go in there smelling poorly. So he will take care of himself and then go off and make sure that he can help his clients to understand romance and things of that nature, and obviously do his matchmaking and things. She is just going to finish up her little jog here, and then we'll get her on home and we'll let her take care of some of the things that she needs to take care of. I don't think she actually has to work today. I think she has the evening off, so we'll just let her maybe get into the house and she can do some cooking and things like that. So maybe she can have some visits with some of the neighborhood people or something like that, because obviously they don't really know a whole lot of people in this neighborhood. They recently moved into the neighborhood together, but they don't really know a whole lot of people in the neighborhood. So I think it would be good for her to kind of get to know some of her neighbors and to befriend some of them. So maybe she'll make a little bit of time to get to know some of her neighbors, and she can visit with some of them at some point as well. So I think that will be good for her to kind of establish a little bit of presence here in the neighborhood. And you know, if they're making friends, that would be good, because then people in the neighborhood would be like, oh, that's that couple. Well, that'll be, you know, great for her to kind of establish them in the area. She seems to really be enjoying fitness, which is good. So maybe she will want to take up jogging on a regular basis as well. So she has just finished her jogging. We are going to go ahead and send her on inside. I'm going to let her get a little bit of a bath. She is not as poor in her hygiene as Andrew was, but I still want her to kind of freshen up a little bit. And it looks like Carlos is giving her a little bit of a text message, and he's congratulating her on her recent elopement, which is fantastic. We love that he has reached out to her. I am, you know, not surprised at all that he would do that, considering they are best friends. But we are going to let her go ahead and get cleaned up a little bit. Obviously, Andrew is already off to his job, and he is just taking care of his clients. And once she is finished with her bath, we'll go ahead and get her out, and she can clean up around the house. Looks like we've got some dust going on. So she's just going to tidy up a little bit and do some things here around the house. Maybe, like I said, I can get her downstairs and she can go ahead and get a little bit of cooking done. And that will be fantastic if we can, you know, have her just do some domestic things. So we're just going to have her clean up and do some cooking. And we have Aziz Nazir who has called, and so that's fantastic. We've invited him on round. So that is, I believe, someone that is in the neighborhood, and he has come on over to visit. So we are just going to kind of spend a little bit of time with our neighbor here. We will obviously get to know him a little bit, and we will see how he's doing. So I'm just going to get Melinda to obviously go ahead and have herself a little bit of a bite to eat, but she's going to speak with Aziz, and she is going to find out how his day is, find out what he does for work, and just kind of get to know him a little bit better. She is, like I said, trying to get to know some of the neighbors. She's wanting to make friends with them. She obviously wants to meet people that her and Andrew can kind of hang out with and have over for parties and dinners and things of that nature. Since they are a couple now, they want to have people that they can invite over and, you know, hang out with and things like that. And so she feels like if she is establishing a presence here in the neighborhood and she's getting to know some of her neighbors, they can have like block parties and things like that. And so she is just getting to know him a little bit. She's teaching him about generosity, and we love that for her. So she's just being kind with him and finding out all about him and sharing her interest with him and talking about cooking and things like that. So I think that they are starting to really get along and build up a little bit of a friendship here, which is good for Melinda. And obviously she's telling him about her husband, and she's like, you know, he's at work right now. He's a romance consultant. I think that he would really like to get to know you. And obviously I'll have to tell him all about you when he gets home from work, but I just think it's so nice that you've come over to visit and that we're getting to know you, or I'm getting to know you. I obviously don't really talk a whole lot about my career. And he's like, well, why is that? And she's like, a lot of people don't really understand what I do. And he's like, oh, and she's like, yeah, it's a little unorthodox, but I kind of help spirits cross over to the other side. And he's like, that is a little unorthodox. And she's like, it is, but you know, it is a little bit necessary as well. Everybody wants their loved ones to be able to cross over and find peace. And he's like, well, I suppose that's true. And she's like, yeah, I just like to be able to be helpful, and, you know, everyone deserves to find peace in the end. And he's like, yeah, I agree with that. So she is, you know, obviously not wanting people to find her insane, but she is hoping that he understands kind of where she's coming from, and that she is just trying to be really a kind person and someone that's, you know, really helpful. And she's hoping that he doesn't find her, you know, kind of cuckoo or kind of weird, or a little bit out in there in left field. But she's like, you know, we are definitely a little bit of a different couple, but, you know, we keep things interesting. We'll just let her kind of do whatever it is she wants to do here. I was going to have her work on some learning, but she's like, oh, forget about it. She wanted to learn about some more romance because I do need to get her up another level in romance. She's currently at level 6. She needs to be at level 7 for her aspiration. But unfortunately, you know, that isn't an option. So she's just going to have to do more romantic things with Andrew to get that level up in her romance. But she's going to continue speaking with Aziz here, and they are continuing their becoming friends, which is fantastic. And she is obviously feeling really flirty right now. I don't know why. But I'm going to have her go ahead and just clean up a little bit here. I think she is really enjoying the fact that she is, you know, learning about her neighbors and making friends. But she has decided that she's going to go ahead and get some supper cooking because she does want something here ready and available for when Andrew gets home from work. She does like to make sure that she takes care of him. So once she's finished cleaning up here, she's just going to go ahead and get some supper going. That way when Andrew comes home from work, he will have something going for, or something available for him to eat. So I'm going to have her go ahead and get a meal going, and then maybe we'll get her out here and she can tend to these plants because it looks like they kind of need to be weeded. So we will let her do that. And Aziz is just kind of hanging out at the house, which is perfectly fine. Maybe they can even chat a little bit while she's cooking. They can just kind of chat over the wall there. So that'll be fine. It looks like Meredith is calling, and she constantly is kind of bugging us and doing things like trying to take us out on dates and stuff. But we are just not interested in that, so we're just going to ignore that call. So she's just making a little bit of fish here, and we're going to have that ready for supper. I do think that Andrew will enjoy that meal when he comes home, so that will be absolutely fantastic. He will have himself a little bit of a late supper once he comes home from his shift, and then obviously he'll be able to get himself off into bed. So she's just going to go ahead and put it here to be served. Look at Aziz. He's like, oh my God, that smells delicious. And she's like, you can go ahead and help yourself if you'd like, if you're hungry. And he's like, no, I won't mess up your meal. And she's like, no, really, please. So she's going to go ahead and do a little bit of gardening here. We do want to get that taken care of. And she's just trying to kill a little bit of time. Aziz is like, I do need to head on home. It's getting a little bit late. And she's like, okay, well, it was really nice to hang out. So he's gone off, and I am just going to go ahead and we are going to sell some of these things in her inventory. And then I am going to let her go in and watch a little bit of television for a little bit before she decides to head off to bed. I do think she is starting to get a little bit tired. It is starting to get a little bit late, and I just don't think that she would kind of wait up for Andrew. I think that it is when it starts getting, you know, pretty late. I do think that she probably would go ahead and just tuck herself on into bed, knowing that he would come on home and take care of himself, and then he'll just follow suit. So that's probably what is going to happen. So she'll just watch a little bit of television, and then when she is ready to go on off to bed, that's probably what she'll do. So we'll just get her in here to use the bathroom. She's going to grab herself a bite to eat, and then we'll send her on off to bed, and she'll have to go get herself a little bit of rest. So Andrew is just about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way done with his shift here, and then he'll be heading himself on home as well. Actually, he's just about done. And then he needs to grab himself a bathroom break as well, and then we'll get him something to eat. So he's come on home now, and we're just going to go ahead and let him head on into the washroom there. She has finished her meal, but she is decided she wants to go take a nap. I really wish she wouldn't take a nap on the couch, but I guess she's going to take a nap on the couch. She is asking if they should try for a baby. Go ahead and try for that baby. Okay, Andrew, he's outside bird watching. Okay, can you come on in the house and use the bathroom? Because honestly, you really, really need to do that. So we're going to bring him in. We're going to let him use the washroom. I don't know why he was sitting outside on the park bench watching birds, but I guess he was just really enjoying himself just in nature there and kind of relaxing a little bit after his shift at work. But I'm going to send him on to the bathroom and then let him get something to eat here. And then everyone's going to go ahead and head themselves off to bed. He's so bloody happy. Even after being at a whole day's worth of shift work, he is so happy. She's headed off to work now. They have like 2 ships passing in the night with their awkward shifts. I thought she was off today, but I guess she wasn't. So she's headed off into her shift, and he's gonna go ahead and get himself something to eat, and then he's gonna go off onto bed. And we'll go ahead and put this food in the fridge here. He obviously will go to bed. He will not wait for her to get home. She will get home extremely late. She works really strange hours because obviously she is helping spirits cross over to the other side. So he's like, I'm not staying up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I am way too shattered for that. So he'll eat something and then he'll head on to bed. He does seem to be enjoying this meal. I think that he is really, really enjoying the fact that his wife can cook quite well. So he's just going to go ahead and head off to bed here, and we will wait for Melinda to come home from work. Okay, so it is the next morning. It looks like we have him up. Andrew is just getting up here. He is well rested. He's woken up feeling pretty flirty. And his needs are in fantastic shape. As you can see, Melinda is still getting herself a little bit of rest, but she is feeling pretty hungry. So we are going to have to get her up soon so that she can go ahead and get herself a bite to eat. So we are going to go ahead and send her in, but it does look like we have found out that she is expecting. She is pretty pregnant there looking. She's got herself quite the little baby bump going on. So it looks like she did find out in the middle of the night that she was expecting there. So she is going to be having a little one. We are going to be letting him know that she's pregnant. She obviously didn't wake him up in the middle of the night to let him know that she's having a little one, because he was asleep and she didn't want to bother him or anything like that. But she came home from work and found out that she was expecting, and then she went straight to bed. And so she's going to come in here and she is going to tell him the great news that they are having a little one. So let's go ahead and have her come on in and tell him the great news. And she's just going to, just be like, Andrew, I found out that we're having a baby. Look at him. He's like, oh my goodness.
Oh.
He's actually pretty excited. Look at how happy he is. Oh, that's so great. So it says here that we need to decide if he's happy about this or not. I'm just going to go ahead and put let fate decide. And it says here that there were not any changes. So fate didn't change anything with him, which is fine. I love that, fate was like, no, we'll just leave things the way they are. And he is happy about the baby, so we love that for them. They are both thrilled about the news of the child and excited that they're going to be parents. And so I am really happy that they are happy that they are going to be having a little one. But I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in our next episode of our LoveBound series. And until next time, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.